Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tel Aviv University International. My name is Shira. I'm an outreach coordinator here. With me, I also have my colleagues, and they will join us very soon, Tetyana and Ayelet, of our different undergraduate programs. But as we have people coming through, I'll just wait here, and very soon I'll also be able to show you our campus. It's a very lovely sunny day, which we are very lucky to have lots of. So I'll just let people come through, and we'll get started with showing the campus very shortly. So hi, everybody. So while we're waiting, I would love to hear where you guys are coming from. We always love to know where people are watching, whether it's your morning, your afternoon, evening, or night. So let us know. You can use the chat function to just share where you are coming in from. Awesome. India, England, Argentina, already a global community. Okay, so I will flip my phone, and now you should be seeing campus. So I'll just show you very quickly over here. So this is just one face of Tel Aviv University. This is the largest university here in Israel. Everything is in one campus, which means that there's so much room for cross collaboration. Lots of ideas from all across the corners of whether it's science, whether it's the humanities, whether it's something in between that merges the two, fine arts, and so forth. But over here, this is an area that I love to show people when we come to campus tours. Tel Aviv in general is a bike city, a scooter city. So we have bikes that you can rent right here. There's also a bunch of museums. So this is Bet Atfutzot, or the Jewish Diaspora Museum right here. Cafes and cafeterias in almost every building. This large building over here is the one of our libraries. We have 9 faculties, and each faculty has a library. So this one is quite wonderful. There's also a community garden outside of it, and inside, in the first level, there is a gallery. And so we rotate student art and different types of art that you can look at while you're taking a study break from the open space or the study rooms that we have to offer. And again, this is just one library out of many. Over here, typically, especially during this time, we see a lot of students just laying down, catching up with friends, or studying out in the sun. But this is the current times. We do distance learning at this moment, but we're very excited for when we're able to bring the students back to this campus. A little bit further back, there is also the ability to go a little bit more to our sports center. Students do get a subsidized pricing, so really great to enjoy it. 3 pools, a fully equipped gym, and lots of different classes. There's also the student union. They organize concerts that really happen all across here. There's also typically a market here on Wednesdays that sells everything from roasted nuts, kitchen gadgets, backpacks, and so forth. I don't know if you can see. I hope that you can. But in between the buildings, you can see the beach. So we are just a 15-minute scooter ride away from getting to the beach. So just imagine you're finishing your exams and off you go to be with your friends. This is Rakanati over there. It is our management building. And over here is Gilman, where we have our BA office, as well as lots of classes for you to explore. In between the two of them, there's also a way to go to one of the other cafeterias. Our cafeterias are all kosher, and there's a range of meat, vegetarian, vegan options. So for so many different types of dietary restrictions and needs, there's a lot to accommodate for you. So that's a little snippet of Tel Aviv University. I'm going to go back to my face, but now I'm going to go back to the room where we'll be actually talking about the different programs. And while I do that, my colleague Tetyana will show you a quick video to also give you a little bit of a taste of Tel Aviv as well as Tel Aviv University. Okay, see you very shortly. All right, so we understand that we need to show you and also have you here.
Tel Aviv, thank you for your chutzpah, for the sweet music of Matkot on the beach, for your scooters driving everywhere they shouldn't, for serving salad without a plate. Bless you for that. And yes, in Tel Aviv, everyone feels at home, everywhere. Only you would create an app that makes drivers work for you. And the real chutzpah, what started as just another sand dune, is now ranked first in the world for startups per capita. Thank you, Tel Aviv University, for presenting the best of Israeli chutzpah. Thank you for thinking you can beat outsiders by putting a brain on a chip. For fighting world hunger, applying AI to the Bible. How dare you try to print a human heart and succeed? Succeed in being ranked among the world's top 10 universities to produce startup founders. Thank you, Tel Aviv University, for your student entrepreneurs that are changing the rules of the game. Thank you for investing in the world of tomorrow. Be part of the next big chutzpah. Be part of the next big idea. Tel Aviv University.
All right. Close that. Awesome. All right. So I hope that gave you a little bit of a taste. So I hope that gave you a little bit of a taste of Tel Aviv. We'll begin. Okay, I think that should be without feedback. Okay. We are now going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So, before we begin, I want to get you acquainted with the different functions that you're seeing in the webinar. The first one is the chat function that you use to tell us where you're from. So you already know that one. So feel free to use that one. Let us know whether you're interested in the academic gap, or the B.Sc, or the MBA, or the dual degree. So let us know in the chat now. We would love to know. Now, moving on to Q&A. After we present each program, we will allow you to also pop in. And while we speak also, feel free to drop in what your questions are, and we will be able to answer them through the Q&A. We might answer them live, we might type our answers, and we might do a mix of both. But that's how we'll be able to see your questions, okay? Next one is the raise hand function. So we might just use this a little bit. We might also not. We'll see how we are during this webinar, but you can try out clicking the raise hand now. So I would love to see how you're doing with that. So if you can raise your hand. Yep, I see people are raising their hands. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right, great. So raise hand, you can use that. The Q&A is for asking questions as we speak about the different programs, and chat is a little bit of talking, but I think our main place will be the Q&A. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic today, which is our post-high school options here at Tel Aviv University International. So my name is Shira. I will cover the academic gap program. We also have Tetyana with us, and we have Ayelet with us. So Tetyana will cover the B.Sc, and Ayelet will cover our BA Liberal Arts and dual degree program between Tau and Columbia. So a little bit about Tau. So Tel Aviv University at a glance has 30,000 students. About 2,000 of them are international students each year, covering from academic gap, undergraduates, graduate students, PhDs and postdocs, as well as a lot of people coming here for a semester or a year abroad. We are so delighted to be having people with over 100 countries, as well as be a top 100 innovation university. What is really near and dear for me is that this campus is vast. I showed you only a little bit of it, but as I said earlier, there's 9 faculties and 125 schools and departments, really covering so much beyond your mind's imagination. So while you might be exploring one bit and really diving into it in your academic program of choice, you also have the opportunity to explore so much on campus. If you're interested in exploring a different discipline, you are welcome to reach out to a professor and see if that's if you can grab a coffee or something. Especially in Israel, people welcome conversations from all across. Another thing that we are very, very happy to be placing is one of the top schools producing VC-backed founders. So out of the top 10 list, we are the only non-US university to be featured in that ranking consistently. And in general, once you come to Tau, you are not just part of the family of the 30,000 students that you're seeing and the international students you'll be with, but 200 family of 200,000 alumni strong. A little bit about the people that come out and the achievements. We, especially during COVID, really got a lab app that conducts 2,000 tests per day. Another thing that we are very proud of is ways, it might be even in your little devices to help you make your way from home and so on. As well as you were able to actually see the 3D printing of the heart. And we will be sharing more achievements that are particular to the different programs as we go on. As mentioned, not just in terms of the vastness of campus and how much you can explore while you're here, we are also very connected to the industry. So Ramot, I think Tetyana might cover that a little bit too. Yes, so I'll let Tetyana speak to that in her presentation, but the Business Engagement Center that really drives so much use to both industry as well as the Tel Aviv University. Tau Ventures is an academic venture capital fund, and it runs programs for early stage technologies, as well as offering partnerships with international leading companies. So really bringing in the academia into the world of business from that perspective, and the Entrepreneurship Center and Innovation Center. So, and I think that Ayelet might be able to touch base on it a little bit when we speak about the entrepreneurship track. But here at Tau, we believe that everybody can and has the ability to spark their entrepreneurial skill set. So there's an entrepreneurship center to really encourage that in every student. Also, as part of a really large campus, we host so many different types of conferences, and you'll be really able to get the most out of it by seeing the delegates and perhaps participating in them. Now, for all of our programs, we have our Student Life team. They are dedicated to providing you with support, whether it is very logistical or something around just orienting you. So in the beginning of each program, especially the academic gap, you will come here for an arrival day. The madrichim, who are Israeli students but they speak fluent English, will show you around campus and will provide you with insight on the different resources, on different activities, and how your life will go on during your time here. They also take you to different types of activities. It might be right here in Tel Aviv or on campus. So that could be something like taking you to explore the graffiti around Entin in Tel Aviv, or taking you to Jerusalem, to the north of Israel, to the south for weekend trips. So in a nutshell, we have many, many different programs, but we're going to focus on the academic gap, as well as the B.Sc and the liberal arts and the BA liberal arts dual degree program. All right, so who here, I want to see a show of hands, who here is looking at the academic gap at this moment? So I see one, awesome. Cool. So Grace, welcome. So the academic gap is a pre-undergraduate degree program. One of the benefits of it is that you really get to explore yourself as a university student, what you're interested in, how you study best, what brings in the most out of you as an academic. And you get to be in university level courses while also getting a very intimate classroom environment. We are expecting a lower count of people maybe able to come here for the study abroad this year. So we are going to have very intimate classes and lots of one-on-one attention to you. As I mentioned, social and cultural activities, trips, birthdays, all that for you. We are looking to really provide a really well-rounded academic gap, as well as personalized academic advising. So there's an array of courses that you can take, but we know that people have different interests and so and different plans after the academic gap. So that's why we have an academic advisor that can help you navigate that. One of the really great benefits is that some of these courses can also then transfer to the BA depending on the courses. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to stay here longer after you are done your academic gap, which some of our students definitely have done. And speaking of the courses, here's a range of things you can take, whether it's languages, Arabic or Hebrew. The program does start with a Hebrew course. So typically we start the courses off with a Hebrew ulpan. This year it's going in the fall, it's going to be very, very beginners. If you just need to, you're just getting started and learning the Aleph Bet. But you can also do it a little bit later on, you know, with the circumstances in mind with Corona. So we do have a Hebrew course during the semester as well. But as you can see, there's anthropology, arts and culture, business, international relations, film and media studies, a very popular course actually, life sciences, social sciences, Middle Eastern studies, and so forth. So that's that regarding the academic gap, but I will pause now and let you ask any questions. So I already see a Q&A. I'll let another one pop if there is anything needed. And I will answer it. Okay. Sure. So I have some great questions. So how many students are we expecting for next year? So it can really depend on what the situation is, but we are expecting a good amount of students to come. That said, we are also seeing that it might be lower than our usual count, and that is more to your favor in terms of the academic experience, having a lot of one-on-one attention, especially as you're transitioning to university level in the first, for your first time. Regarding accommodations, so we do have dorms that's on offer for the academic gap, as well as all of our undergraduates. They're very, very close to campus. So if you were able to see the campus slide tour that I gave, if you go a little bit from like about 5 minutes away from the Rakanadi building, which was the business school, you are already at the dorms. They are an additional cost because it's not mandatory, but you will be paired ideally with people that are in your situation of being undergraduates. All right. So Hila, are you asking regarding academic gap? I'll take that question. Okay, for the BAs. So we'll get to the BA questions when we get to the BA, all right? So we'll get to that and please ask it then, okay? Awesome. So if there's more questions for academic gap, you're welcome to pop them in, just write gap, and I'll be happy to answer. Moving forward, we will go into the B.Sc. So what I'll do right now is I will pause the share for a moment and transition us to the B.Sc video.
All right. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. I hope you will enjoy our conversation and you will get better understanding of our university and the programs that we offer for the international students. Shira, thank you very much for beautiful campus tour and introducing us. I'm a coordinator of the International Program in Engineering, and I'm here to tell you about the opportunities and career options that our program offers for the international students. For a brief introduction, it's a 4-year undergraduate program that gives specialization in electrical engineering. The School of Electrical Engineering at Tel Aviv University is one of the largest schools in Israel, with a very diverse student population in undergraduate, graded, and PhD programs. Last year, our program became a part of the Faculty of Engineering at Tel Aviv University that is actually ranked as one of the top 100 science universities in the world, which is very, very substantial ranks. And having said that, our international students have a chance to study together with Israeli students in one big multinational classroom. And another good news for international students, that being a part of the Faculty of Engineering at Tel Aviv University, international students actually pay the tuition fees, the same tuition fees as Israeli students, which is around $4,550 per academic year. So that is another benefit of our program. The faculty of Electrical Engineering School are all leading researchers in their field with the successful startup projects and companies. I would like to show you just a few examples of what our professors work on at the labs of Tel Aviv University. One of the best examples, as you can see, is a cell phone lens. Yes, we all have on our smartphones dual lens camera. So this it has been created by one of the professors in the Faculty of Engineering at Tel Aviv University, and sold for huge amount of money to Samsung company. So now we can all enjoy a high quality of photos on our phones. This extensive cooperation of faculty and professors with the industry makes our program very dynamic and very responsive to the needs of the industry. And it makes our program very closely related to high-tech companies in Israel and outside of the country. And because we all come from different countries, from different cultural backgrounds and educational systems, we may all have a little bit different understanding of what electrical engineering is. So I know that for some of us, electrical engineering may be associated with the work of technician. And I would like to talk a little bit about it to give you a sense of what our students really do when they study here. In fact, it has nothing to do with the work of technician. And actually in Israel, the field of electrical engineering is one of the leading fields in engineering that gives very broad, wide range of opportunities for students for careers in different fields, such as robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, autonomous driving, and bioelectronics, and many others. Our current students and our graduates can find their interest pretty much in every field. For example, it can be development of medical technologies. It can be electronic devices, development of electronic devices for athletes. It can be even farming. It depends what your interests are, and what field of science you would like to focus. Having that degree in electrical engineering will give you really broad opportunities for your future career. So to give you better understanding of what our students are doing, I want to share with you the video with the director of the School of Electrical Engineering, Tel Aviv University, and he will and he will tell you exactly what they are doing. Shira, how can I?
How can you share? I will share.
Can you share this? Mm-hmm.
We are the most dynamic and creative school of electrical engineering in Israel. We are famous for being the largest greenhouse for entrepreneurs and for inventors, responsible for a large number of inventions and technologies having to do with flash disk memories, with barcode readers, with cyber technologies, phone cameras, and many others. We are 79 professors, all world-known experts in their respective fields, teaching and conducting research in a variety of subjects, including artificial intelligence, image processing, signal processing, devices, optics, electromagnetic systems, etc. The background diversity of international students will certainly add to the powerhouse, which is the School of Electrical Engineering of Tel Aviv University.
Okay, so now, can you? All right, so now when you saw our School of Engineering and you had the chance to get acquainted with the director, I'd like to add a few more words about our curriculum and what students study in terms of academic subjects. So during the first 2 years, students study mostly core courses in physics, mathematics, and engineering, and a few courses in computer sciences and programming. And in the third year of the program, they start choosing their specialization. At the moment, we have like 12 specialization or tracks, we call them tracks, that students can choose and focus on their research and in their future careers. It can be communications, it can be signal processing, it can be computers. If somebody, for example, some students are interested in computer sciences, but they want to approach this field in a little different way, so they can start studying electrical engineering and have computers track as their specialization course. You also can choose bioelectronics, electromagnetics, devices, materials, and many more specialization courses and tracks that are available in our program. And at the moment when students start having some special knowledge in a particular field, we help them finding internships. We do help all the international students that we have in our program to find the most interesting projects for them. And many of our students work with the professors in the labs in Tel Aviv University. Many of our students have their projects in high-tech companies in Israel, but also in the United States and India. So being here in Israel, you can also have a chance to work with people from different countries and perhaps travel to have an experience with the high-tech companies in other countries. We also have we call it Industrial Affiliates Program that provides our students great networking opportunities and internships. So that this is how we try to connect our students with the industry while they are studying here on campus. More than that, we have world-known companies that come to hire on our students from the School of Electrical Engineering. For example, Intel, IBM, Samsung, we call it recruitment days, when the representatives of the companies come to campus, and our students have an opportunity to get interviewed and to have their first job offer being a student at the university. So this is really cool possibility. And we are looking forward when everything goes back to routine and we're all see people on campus and have our recruitment days back. And what else our students are doing after the graduation? Many of them actually choose to continue their study, and they proceed with the master's degree programs, and they work with the with the professors on particular projects, and then they can publish their articles. They can take these projects to their future careers. And the Faculty of Engineering at Tel Aviv University has different specialization for engineering at the postgraduate level. It can be mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, biomedical engineering, or even material sciences. It depends what you will be more interested at that point. So many of our students stay here and continue as a research students, and some of them actually go to leading universities outside of the country. For example, we have a student, Yabin from China. She's one of our first graduates from the international program, and right after the graduation from Tel Aviv University, she continued her study at Pennsylvania State University, and she just graduated with her master's degree, and she's doing lots of research in robotics. So she's grading robots. So guys, if you feel like engineering is something that you really passionate about, and something that you want to devote your life, and you're ready to take this journey, we will be happy to welcome you and see you on campus. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
So everybody, if you want to ask any questions about the B.Sc, just type them in the Q&A, and we'll wait a couple of moments for you to write your questions. So Lucas, if you go to the undergraduate degrees overview link, there's also then a link to the B.Sc electrical engineering. But right now in the Q&A, that's where we're looking for questions. All right, we're not seeing any questions. So if you do have them, then you're still welcome to pop them up, but just let us know that you're interested specifically in the B.Sc, and then Tetyana will help you with your questions. So we're moving on to Ayelet, so we'll stop sharing over here. So Ayelet is with us, and she'll speak about the
Thank you,
BA.
everyone, for taking the time to join us today. It's a pleasure for us. Thank you, Shira and Tetyana, for the introduction. I will present. My name is Ayelet. I'm the director of the International BA in Liberal Arts, and under my hat, I'm actually directing two programs which have a lot in common, but yet a difference, and I will introduce them both. Okay, so basically, we'll start with the International BA in Liberal Arts. Our current program is a 3-year program, which at the end you receive a BA. Usually in the States, it takes 4 years to accumulate this program. So it's not that we learn less, we just learn it and study it in a more condensed manner. As you can see, it's a 120 credits program. Currently, in our program, it's very, very diverse and multinational. We have 140 students from over 35 countries. So in normal days on campus, when you walk the corridors of the next to the classrooms, you would think that you can make world peace quite quickly because everybody gets along so beautifully, and it's a pleasure to see it working. Unfortunately, these days the corridors are empty, but I will address the COVID situation also a little later. The way this track is built, this is a track-based program in the sense that when you enter this program, you don't just follow one track along the 3 years. We offer a student 8 tracks, various disciplines, which of them they can pick 4 during the program. One will become a major, another one a minor, and also 2 basic tracks. So as you can see here, we have 8 various tracks. I will just mention one little aspect here, that the life science and entrepreneurship on the bottom are currently not able to be taken as majors, but definitely as minors, and there are tracks within themselves. Just a few words on the different tracks. I'll begin with digital culture and communication. This is a very, very interesting track. It's important to me to emphasize that this is not a media track. We don't learn how to podcast or to run radio shows. It's actually a very philosophical view of how the past 50 years of the digital era has changed us in every single way, politically, socially, educationally, everything has to do with family and how we see ourselves. So it's important to take this under consideration when you're thinking about this program. It's extremely, extremely interesting. It has a very unique vision that it gives to students that takes this track. Literature, there's analysis and analysis of the most profound and significant works and creations of the American and English literature. Philosophy goes back to the pre-Socratic era until today. Also, regarding life sciences, it's a new track that we're opening next year, emphasis on biology and chemistry classes, and a little bit in the entrepreneurship and innovation track. Also a new track that we're opening next year, which brings you the framework and process and thinking and also practical aspects of this essence. Our students in the program are truly cradled and cuddled, not also with the Town International team that's really there for them 24 hours, 7 days a week. We also have very, very small classes to produce a very awake discussion. Professors are very, there's no, how should I say, everything is very sociable. We have counseling with an academic advisor to help you build the program throughout your years in the program, so we don't end up after 3 years missing any academic credits. So basically, we have you. How can I say this? We're having you. Shira, how will I say this? We take care of all your worries through our program and also through Town International. So as I said, for the first year, students concentrate on the core curriculum, which provides the academic foundation for the program. The core curriculum offers broad courses of political philosophy, critical theory, also courses in Israel history, Western literature, and modernity. This is prior to the tracks that you pick. You will take core classes as well as required classes of your chosen tracks. During your second year, you will take electives out of each track that you have picked. We have tens and tens of very, very interesting courses, which are very, very diverse, which everyone can find something that they would like to specialize in. There are different disciplines. Students select one track, as I said, as a major, a minor, and 2 further tracks. And this happens in the second year. And the reason it happens in the second year, because in the first year, we allow you to kind of take a buffet of courses, and in order to enable you in the second year to take an educated decision of what you would like to major in. During your third year, you complete your seminar courses and do an in-depth exploration of what you picked in your major and minors. The diploma which you receive at the end of the day after 3 years will be in the multidisciplinary programs in the Humanities of Tel Aviv University. The second program that's run in our faculty and is completely new and will be launched next year. Unfortunately, at this stage, application to this program is already closed, but not so for the liberal arts. Liberal arts, which I just spoke about, the application is still open for next year. The dual degree program, I see that a little bit of the table here as it's not really straightened out, so excuse me for that. The dual degree program is a joint venture between Tel Aviv University and Columbia University. The meaning of this program is, which provides the students with 2 BAs in 4 years. The way it is built, that the first 2 years are studied here in Tel Aviv, and years 3 and 4 are studied at Columbia. This is a truly unique opportunity to combine 2 world-renowned institutions under one program, and truly offering the students the best of all worlds and states. So in years 1 and 2, actually, what the students during the dual degree program will study with our liberal arts program, as you can see on the left, the various 8 tracks. On years 3 and 4, basically the entire courses and majors that are in the School of General Studies in Columbia are open before the students. Just an example here, you can see biology and computer science, earth studies, economics, film, media, creative writing, and there are endless of other programs and concentrations that the dual degree students can continue their studies in years 3 and 4 at Columbia. Now, how does this program work? A little bit about the mutual accreditation between the 2 programs. So how do you accumulate 2 degrees in 4 years? So essentially the BA degree, as I mentioned before, is 120 credits, and the BA in Columbia would be 124 credits, but you don't have to do, of course, all the 244 credits. What you would do is, on the first 2 years, you would accumulate 80 credits in the TAU, of which 60 are eligible to be accredited at Columbia. Over there, you will pick another major and different concentration and accumulate another 64 credits, 40 of which will be accredited in Tel Aviv University. You will be working with an academic advisor very, very closely on the TAU side as well as the dual degree side, in order to make sure, as I've mentioned before, that everything works together as a puzzle, so you don't find yourself at the end of the program with 2 credits missing, and then you will need to extend your studies. So at the end of the day, after 4 years from Tel Aviv, you will get the multidisciplinary degree, and from Columbia, you will get a BA from the School of General Studies. I'm going to let you read this. This is the picture that you see here is one of our leading students that has just graduated. Her name is Yasmin. She's from Brazil. And you can read over here what she found in our program. And I will tell you that Yasmin is currently on her way to continue her studies in a prestigious institution and to continue her MA. What are the career opportunities? I often get asked because this isn't, you would think that isn't a degree that gives you a practical thing in your hand, a practical profession in your hand. Well, I want to tell you, we've had many conversations with blue chip companies and leading companies, and what they've told us basically is the same. They told us, we can teach them how to program. We need you to teach them how to think. And this is what I want you to take as a tool when you're thinking about this program, because once we teach you how to think, and this is something that we definitely commend ourselves doing throughout the program, then you can definitely find yourself in all areas. We have graduates that are leading positions in high tech and startups. We have many, many successful self-starters. Some have opened their own ice cream chains and they're very, very successful. Others have opened some special peace conferences between Palestinians and Israelis. We have lots of graduates continuing to their master and doctoral degrees around the world. In Oxford, we have a PhDs in Harvard. So basically, once you learn how to focus your critical thinking and to broaden your horizons, then we believe, and the reality shows us that you can find yourself in any leading company once you graduate from our programs. Do you want to address the programs, the questions right now?
So we already have a couple of questions about the BA over here. So feel free to.
Okay, so when is the deadline for the BA? The BA is currently until July 31st. Application is open. For the dual degree, by the way, if anybody asking, then application will open for year 2021 during August.
Awesome. So any more questions? Feel free to type them through.
Tuition process, okay, for Olim. Basically, if you want to know all the benefits that you can receive as Olim, you will have to go to Misrad Klita. They will give you all list of benefits. There's one thing that's important for me to emphasize here. We're an ex-budgetary program. In this sense, the tuition for this program is not equal to the general tuition of the university, which is around 13,000 shekels. As Tetyana mentioned, around $4,500. Our tuition is $12,500. And this applies to all international and Israeli applicants. So there is no difference in this sense. Any other questions that we have? No open questions. All right, if you should have any further questions later, then they have.
We will we'll pass on your information in a moment. We'll also send out this recording later on in a couple of days. I'll here. So we will send the recording of this as well as links to the relevant contacts, so ourselves, as well as the website. One more thing that I do want to mention is that we have a special scholarship considering, again, the circumstance that we are in right now in the world, COVID-19, for all people accepted into this coming year. So We'll also mention that in our mailer once we send it out. But I do want to also let you know of that it is available for you for our study students.
Sure, I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Yeah, you're on. Hi, okay. Regarding COVID, many ask what's going to happen next year. Unfortunately, well, nobody knows. It's the $1 million question, but it's important for us to emphasize that our academic year will open in any case. We would really love to have normal living life, campus life, and to have it back on track. But should that not happen, strict regulations do not enable us to do so, then we will open or continue our online distant learning, which is already amazing well this semester. So it's not a question of if the academic year will open, but of how.
Right. Can I add?
Of course.
Yeah. So we have like the program of engineering has the same approach that if it does happen that students can't come due to the travel restrictions, then we would open the program online, and we will accommodate the needs of all the students, those who will be able to join on campus and those who won't be able to join on campus, and will be able to take online the program online until they will be able to come. Yeah, but overall, it's not going to be like the 4-year online program. It's only the solution for the time of the coronavirus.
All right, so that's pretty much it as far as our different programs. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, for sharing, whether again it is your morning, afternoon, evening with us, and listening to everything we have to offer. We would love to hear from you, to discover more about you and your path that you want to pursue academically and beyond. So feel free to get in touch. We will be sending out a recording of this, as well as, again, as I said, links to everything and the contacts. So you will have that. Do you have any more questions before we wrap up? I'll let you type them in the Q&A. And if there are no questions, that's also really okay. We are just on time. So it is, yes, a video did play at the beginning of the presentation. Would you like to receive it? Please let us know. Okay, so the video that was played, we can definitely also send links to that if you'd like. Great. So what I'll do is I'll answer it very shortly, but if there's any more academic questions or anything like that about housing, about food, we do have one now, but I will just wrap up the video questions. So I'll let a few more questions funnel in while I look for the link. So this is the first video that was played. And here's a second. So video links are in the chat box for you to watch. Now there's 2 questions for the BA. So one is there a link to set up a meeting for the BA?
They can write me.
So you can write to Ayelet. So we will include Ayelet's email in the email that we send out. The recordings will take about 24 hours, 36 hours to download. So we will send out to you ASAP. And then another question for the BA. So the entry ACT score needed is 21 for the BA. Any more questions, folks? Okay, great. So, okay. How much is accommodation per year? Typically, as an undergraduate, you'll be in the undergraduate dorms, and that's 600 US per month. You can also look into the accommodations costs. They're typically also included in the website. But since we're already asking, let's include the link to housing. So now there's also the link to housing right in the chat. More questions. So now you are completely able to live off campus. Typically, people entering into academic gap or undergraduate degrees do find that starting off their degree close to campus and within the campus environment is one worry less, but it's definitely optional. And unlike some campuses where there is a meal plan involved or anything like that, there is a kitchen in your dorms, so you are able to cook or choose to eat the food in the cafeterias or anywhere else as well. The nice thing about the cafeterias that we get to enjoy as staff is that it is more accommodated to the student pricing. Any more questions? I'll stay on for 1 more minute, so we'll be done at about 7:05 p.m. Here Israel time. So feel free to ask more of your questions. Okay, so if you have any more questions, we are very accessible. Again, we will send out a recording of this with our contact information and with the information about the programs, the scholarships, and so on. So you will receive that, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again for joining us here at Tel Aviv University International, and we look forward to seeing you on campus.